On November 19th, 2025, Congress passed the bipartisan Epstein Files Transparency Act with near unanimous support, requiring the DOJ to release all unclassified Epstein documents within 30 days. That deadline was Friday, December 19th. Today, December 22nd, Epstein survivors released this letter, calling the DOJ's response inadequate, citing heavily redacted documents, missing financial records, and files that were posted then mysteriously removed. Let's read what the survivors themselves said. For similar content and to help out the channel, please like the video and sub for more. Dated December 22nd, 2025, statement from survivors. The Epstein Files Transparency Act imposed a December 19, 2025 deadline for the United States Department of Justice to release its full records of the investigation of Jeffrey Epstein and his accomplices and enablers, with specific narrow exceptions, such as survivor identities. This law, enacted by a nearly unanimous vote in the House and unanimously in the Senate, and signed by the President, was clear. It offered no permission for delayed disclosure. Instead, the public received a fraction of the files, and what we received was riddled with abnormal and extreme redactions with no explanation. At the same time, numerous victim identities were left unredacted, causing real and immediate harm. No financial documents were released. Grand jury minutes, though approved by a federal judge for release, were fully blacked out, not the scattered redactions that might be expected to protect victim names, but 119 full pages blacked out. We are told that there are hundreds of thousands of pages of documents still unreleased. These are clear-cut violations of an unambiguous law. Moreover, the partial release was done in a manner that made it difficult or impossible for survivors to find materials that would be most relevant to our search for accountability. There has been no guidance for survivors on how to locate materials pertaining to our own cases, nor have we been provided with copies of our own files despite repeated requests. There has been no communication with survivors or our representatives as to what was withheld from release or why hundreds of thousands of documents have not been disclosed by the legal deadline, or how DOJ will ensure that no more victim names are wrongly disclosed. While clearer communication would not change the fact that a law was broken, its absence suggests an ongoing intent to keep survivors and the public in the dark as much as possible and as long as possible. It is alarming that the United States Department of Justice, the very agency tasked with upholding the law, has violated the law both by withholding massive quantities of the documents and by failing to redact survivor identities. As women who survived the crimes perpetrated by Jeffrey Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell, we call upon DOJ to explain to the public why they have missed a legal deadline and to explain to us or our representatives how we can privately obtain copies of all documents in DOJ possession that identify us by name. For documents that are publicly released, careful, lawful redaction is essential. Transparency must focus on institutional failures, enablers, financial records, and government conduct, not on further endangering survivors. Moreover, we call upon Congress to stand up for the rule of law. We urge immediate congressional oversight, including hearings, formal demands for compliance, and legal action to ensure the Department of Justice fulfills its legal obligations. This is not a partisan issue. Just as the Epstein Files Transparency Act was supported across party lines, we now ask elected officials from both parties to take decisive action to enforce the law, compel full compliance, and ensure meaningful transparency without further delay. Survivors deserve the truth. Survivors whose identities are private deserve protection. The public deserves accountability, and the law must be enforced. And it's signed by some of the survivors. That's the statement in full, and I'm considering reading the Transparency Act itself on the channel. What are your thoughts? Please share them in the comments in civil discourse. And for more, please remember to like this video and sub to the channel. Thanks, and stay safe.